Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here to go over the NFL Sunday slate of games that just transpired for the entire day. Before I get to my review, please hit the like button and subscribe button for more great content coming up. First, we're going to start off with the Cleveland Browns at the Chicago Bears. My first thoughts, I'm just going to get to Cleveland because obviously they lost this game. Chicago wins 31-3. Shedeur Sanders is 18 for 35, 177 yards. 3 interceptions, and he was sacked 5 times. The running game for Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders had 2 carries for 24 yards. Kushan Junkins had 12 carries for 21 yards. This entire team, the only thing that was positive about this game was Harold Fannin had 14 targets for 7 catches and 48 yards, but that was the only positive thing that come out of Cleveland. Their defense, I think, has looked like they've given up. Their offense just wasn't moving. They didn't run the ball enough for me. How does Junkins only get 12 carries in this game? This is horrible. I picked the Chicago Bears to win this game. I said that in order for Chicago to win this game, that they would have to run the football just like Tennessee did last week. They had to steal that blueprint from Tennessee and just continuously run that football. Now, I didn't expect for the Browns offense to be this bad in this game because the Bears defense is number one in takeaways. Obviously, with the 3 interceptions today, that adds to it. But overall, the Chicago's defense is still able to be had. Shedeur Sanders didn't play particularly well today. Jerry Jeudy had a nice touchdown catch. Shedeur Sanders, you couldn't make a better throw than what he did. And Jerry Jeudy, I don't know what he was thinking. He jumped up way too early. He should have just sold it. Just act like the ball wasn't coming to him. And then as soon as he makes that turn, he catches the ball. Sometimes you got to fake out the DB that's next to you. He can't talk no more. Jerry Jeudy, you got to be quiet now. You can't say nothing. You can't get mad on the sideline. You can't do nothing because you continuously can't make a mistake after mistake after mistake and want to blame other people for your mistakes. And Steve Smith was right about you. You're not a number 1 wide receiver. You're a number 3. No disrespect. It ain't personal. It's just how you've been playing recently. What you did in that Raiders game was a joke. And what you did in this game by not catching that football and letting the DB, the DB didn't turn around and he picked that ball off. You're a number 2. I'm not going to be that disrespectful. You're a number 2, but you're not a number 1 on any team. You wouldn't be a number 1 on my team. You would be a number 3 or number 2. This was ridiculous the way that you played today. And you getting mad at a rookie quarterback trying to play his best, and then as soon as he gets you the ball, you're not catching the ball. You catch the ball, you run, and you fumbling the ball. Like, come on, man. Just not good all season. The attitude has not been good all season, and the way you've been playing hasn't been good all season. But Cleveland, again, Tommy Rees deserves blame as well. This is not just on Kevin Stefanski. This is on Tommy Rees. You have to start saying his name too. Tommy Rees is part of the problem. And if I'm Jimmy Haslam, they're going to do another reboot. Now, would I keep Andrew Berry? Yes, I would keep Andrew Berry because of the draft class that he just put on and that he just had. He drafted a great bunch of rookies for this team. So I think he extends his stay, but everybody else going to get fired. And anybody knows me on this channel, I don't like people losing their job. But this is what's going to be. They're going to lose their jobs. Kevin Stefanski, listen, you can go somewhere else to be a coach. I don't know, maybe go to Tennessee and go be a head coach. But it's over in Cleveland. Cleveland's offense was abysmal. Again, Shedeur didn't play well. I think he's still a good quarterback, but he just didn't play well. 3 interceptions, not great. Could not get any of the offense moving, especially against the Chicago defense that is not a great defense. It's not a top 5 in statistical category type of defense. Now, on the other side, Caleb Williams, he surpassed my expectations today. That's why I say he was great. 17 of 28, 242 yards, 8.6 average per throw, 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, 18 carries for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore had 4 catches for 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is what I was talking about with Caleb Williams. Please complete at least 60% of your passes. When you look at Caleb Williams, he completed 60% of his passes, 17 of 28. Again, this was a great game by Caleb, and the reason why I'm impressed by Caleb is because of this Browns defense. Now, when you look at the Cleveland Browns, all in all, their defense, it seems like they've given up a little bit because they're not playing the same way that they once played. Their play calling has been terrible by Jim Schwartz in certain situations. Myles Garrett has 21.5 sacks now for this season, or he has 22 sacks now for the season, whatever it is. But this game was just great by Caleb Williams. I was thoroughly impressed by Caleb because I thought that the Browns defense was just going to be on him throughout the entire game. And I said he has a great way of escaping sacks. Now, I know that Caleb was sacked 3 times in his game, but he still did an amazing job against his defense. A top 10 defense in the NFL, you go up against them in one of the coldest conditions in Soldier Field, in a long time. And the way that he played, I have to give him his kudos. I have to give him his props for the way that he played. The offense played well. Chicago's defense, again, number one in the NFL in takeaways for a reason. 3 interceptions on the day, 5 sacks on the day. It was an amazing day for the Chicago Bears. Now the Chicago Bears, when you look at their record and look how they're going to move on from this, now this was the test right here. Because even if, let's just say next week, for the sake of argument, they lose to the Green Bay Packers, you won the toughest game. And then, we don't, obviously we wish Micah Parsons the best, but it's feared that he tore his ACL. So now you come in this week with an advantage. Micah Parsons is now gone, which is unfortunate, and we don't root for no injuries over here because that's disrespectful. But it does give you guys an advantage against the Green Bay Packers that lost to the Denver Broncos. It gives you something. It gives you, say, hey, listen, we don't got to worry about Micah Parsons on the D-line. A lot of their players are hurt. You got to take advantage. It's the same way when I said about Justin Herbert and the Kansas City Chiefs today. The Chiefs had to take advantage, and their defense had to take advantage of the fact that they don't have no left tackle, they don't have a right tackle. Even though people get injured, you have to take advantage of the injuries that are being presented to you. And in this matchup right here with Green Bay and Chicago next week, Chicago has to do the same thing. Now, Chicago's record is 10-4 on the season. They're 5-1 at home, and next week they're facing Green Bay. So we'll see what that game's look like. But all in all, this game was absolutely fantastic for Caleb Williams. Again, I cannot praise him enough for the way he played. 242 yards. Again, the completion percentage, I just want to keep going up. Just keep going up for me. But other than that, he was sensational today. Again, against a tough defense. Even though I don't like Jim Short's play calling, but you got to give them credit. They won the football game 31-3. And as far as Cleveland goes, man, I don't know. I don't blame Shedeur Sanders, even though he didn't play well. I don't blame him for the loss. It's a team game. But this was just, man, this offense is horrible. And then y'all wonder why Deshaun didn't look great in this offense. Who can carry this offense? If Patrick Mahomes can't play with the offense that he has in Kansas City, who can play with Cleveland Browns offense? And by the way, real quickly, the Cleveland Browns offensive line has gotten so old so fast. They are horrible. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, even though, again, he threw 3 interceptions, man, I know he's much better than that. But, man, the offensive line and the way that they were blocking, they just couldn't block. Joe Patonio, this might be your last year. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, Wyatt Teller, I don't know if I'm going to resign Wyatt Teller. They have to go in the draft this year and draft 3 or 4 offensive linemen. Like, this is nasty work. This entire offensive line is nasty work. The defense is like they quit. The special teams is absolutely a joke. Bubba Ventrone is going to get fired. At the end of the season, he's going to get fired. Jim Schwartz, I would keep him there because he's still a good defensive coordinator, but, man, the offense got to get rolling somehow. They got to hire somebody quickly, quick, fast, and hurry. But all in all, props to the Chicago Bears for winning this football game. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens versus Cincinnati Bengals. Now, I picked the Bengals to win this game because I didn't trust Lamar Jackson from his injuries and the way he's been playing this entire season since he came back against the Dolphins. However, Lamar Jackson threw the ball 12 times this game, everybody. 8 for 12, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. Cincinnati's defense was getting after him. Derrick Henry had 11 carries for 100 yards. I said in this game, Derrick Henry had to run the ball, and that's what they did. He had 11 carries, run the ball. Keaton Mitchell, 8 carries for 66 yards. Lamar Jackson, 2 carries for 26 yards. I told them they had to run the football if they wanted to win this game because Cincinnati's defense obviously is horrible. But, man, we're going to get to the Bengals and their misfortune in a second. But Lamar Jackson, again, 8 for 12. They ran the ball, 2 touchdowns. He had an interception. They're 7-7 on the season. Cincinnati falls to 4-10. They blew them out 24-0. This was just an embarrassment. Now, Lamar Jackson has to continue on this role if they want to at least sniff the playoffs, even try to get into the playoffs. We'll see, but give credit to the Ravens for winning this game. Zay Flowers had a nice touchdown in this game. Derrick Henry had some monster runs in this game. I thought he would have got a touchdown, but it's all right. You live to see another week. But Derrick Henry was absolutely fantastic in this game. 11 carries, 100 yards. Lamar Jackson, even though he threw the ball 12 times, he completed 8 of the passes. He only missed 4. So, again, is he playing the way that you want him to play? No, but they still got the victory, and they still won this football game. Now, let's turn my attention to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was 25 of 39 for 225 yards and 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Chase Brown had 13 carries for 53 yards. Jamar Chase had 10 catches for 132 yards. He's always going to get his catches, so he had a good game. But everybody else, this game was absolutely horrible. This game, again, is on Joe Burrow. If you want to know why the Cincinnati Bengals are eliminated from playoff competition, it's because of what Joe Burrow did last week and what he did this week. He cost him that game against Buffalo. Listen, I'm getting tired of everybody saying, listen, okay, we know that the defense is bad. The defense has been bad for years. But what did you do last year? You were 9-8 last year. And you were upset, so you said, hey, let's go ahead and pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. They did that for you. Your offensive line gave up 3 sacks today, but the past couple weeks, they were playing okay, not the greatest in the world, but you cost the team back-to-back weeks. Right now, if Joe Burrow doesn't throw those interceptions against the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens this week, instead of being 4-10, they are 6-8. They are 6-8 if he doesn't cost them the game. And they're still hunting for a playoff spot. Now you're 4-10. And does Joe Burrow get the blame for the whole season? No, he doesn't. I'm not going to do that. That would be ludicrous. But at the same time, he cost them these games. It's okay to say that. And by the way, Joe Burrow, I just want to say this too. Nobody feels bad for you that you're not happy and you calling out the organization, you're not happy, and if I'm not going to be happy, why am I doing this, man? There are people out here who are struggling, who have to live paycheck to paycheck. You're going to be fine. Stop this. Nobody feel bad for you. Did we feel bad for the turf toe injury and that you couldn't play the whole season? Of course, because we want to see Joe Burrow play. I've always believed in Joe Burrow since he was drafted. But that statement was ridiculous in itself. You're upset at the organization. Hold them to a high standard or ask for a trade like Carson Palmer did. One or the other. We're not going to sit up here and throw you a pity party and feel bad for you because you're not happy because of the way football is going. You went to a Super Bowl. Dan Marino went to a Super Bowl, and after that, what happened? Cam Newton went to one Super Bowl, and after that, what happened? He did win the MVP, but what happened after that? There are people who play this game who never win. Phillip Rivers, even though he's back at 44 years old, he never went to a Super Bowl. But what was he able to do? Collect generational wealth and was able to have a family, play football, and live a good life. Is it always about the money? No. Sometimes it could be about happiness, but this complaining that you're doing, man, if you don't want to be in Cincinnati, which Diane Rincini came out and said you don't want to trade, but to be complaining like this is ridiculous. And I don't even talk about stuff that's off the field, but that kind of irked me a little bit because I'm like, man, you got to play better. You came back and said, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to just sit down if I'm healthy. Well, you're healthy and what? You're healthy and you're costing the team games by your play. This was the worst game that you played. In your entire career, this game was on you, and the game last week was on you. And if anybody says any different, they're lying because they're trying to protect your feelings. Last week was on you, and this week was on you too. This was a horrible game by Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, again, had a great game. He's always going to have a good game. Second best receiver in the league. I still got Justin Jefferson over you, no disrespect. But this is ridiculous. Joe Burrow, you asked for this offense. You asked for both receivers to get paid. And we all know Cincinnati's not good. Drafting. We all know Cincinnati, for some reason, they need a better scouting department and they need better stuff. But you have to hold their feet to the fire. Don't come out and say, I'm not happy. And if I'm not happy, I don't know why I'm doing this. No, nobody feels bad for you on that. Call them out. Drive better or go behind the scenes and use your power. It's the same way that any other athlete in American sports have power behind the scenes. Get me a player, trade for this player, get this player, and if you don't, I'm not going to play here. Shaquille O'Neal said it the best. If y'all don't draft Penny, I'm not going to re-sign and leave. And what did the Orlando Magic do? They drafted Penny Hardaway. And they went to a finals. Even though they lost, they still went to a finals. This is ridiculous. Nobody want to hear about no complaining. Get out there, play your best game, put your best foot forward, and at the end of the day, be satisfied with that. I know you're not satisfied with losing, but you cost them the game. Anyway, Cincinnati's eliminated for playoff competition. The Baltimore Ravens are still alive, so we'll see what they do next week. Other than that, this is a horrible game by Cincinnati. Kudos to the Baltimore Ravens for winning this football game. Next up, we had the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, in this football game, Justin Herbert was 19 of 29, 210 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Amarian Hampton had 15 attempts for 61 yards. Justin Herbert was sacked 4 times. Patrick Mahomes was 16 of 28, 189 yards and an interception. Gardner Minshew came in because Patrick Mahomes got hurt. It was later confirmed that he tore his ACL, so we wish him a speedy recovery to get back in time for next season. He was 3 for 5 for 22 yards and threw the game-sealing interception. The Chargers win 16-13. I was wrong about my pick. I picked Kansas City in this game. And now the Chargers are 10-4. Kansas City is 6-8. This is the first season that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes starting, he's gonna have a losing record this year because he's out for the rest of the year. But they're 6-8. I think Gardner Minshew could pull it off at the end of the year. They'll probably lose on Christmas to Denver, but a losing season. Listen, before we get to breaking down the Chiefs, I'll move them to the side for a second. Justin Herbert played well. Even though he got one hand, he played well. 19-29 again, 210 yards, a touchdown interception. The game was won 16-13. I said Kansas City's defense, which they did, they weren't impacting the game because if you look at the Chargers, they scored 3 points in the first quarter, 7 points in the second quarter, and only 6 points in the third quarter. After that, they had 0 points in the fourth quarter. Now, the Chiefs, the difference is that they scored all 13 points in the first half. The second half, they got shut out, which is good from the Chargers' defense standpoint, but the Chiefs were on Justin Herbert. Now, Patrick Mahomes was sacked 5 times. Justin Herbert was sacked 4 times, so Kansas City's defense did its job. Kansas City's defense did enough. It was just Kansas City's offense didn't do enough for them. Kansas City defense did enough. Kansas City's offense didn't do enough. And that was the problem in this game. Patrick Mahomes, even though he had a rushing touchdown, he was awful in this game. 16-28, 189 yards of interception. He was horrible. Besides the rushing touchdown, he was bad. Now, the Chargers, again, are now they're 10-4. They're in a playoff hunt. They're automatically going to make the playoffs now. In my book, they're a really good team. And for the injuries that they had with the Chargers, you have to commend Jim Harbaugh for being a great coach with this team and his team following his direction and the way that they're playing. You got to give the Chargers respect. Justin Herbert has really, really impressed me. He's always been a tough guy. Always impressed me with his toughness, but to have surgery on your hand and come in there and only could throw with one hand and basically grip the ball with one hand is really, really impressive. I got nothing bad ever to say bad about Justin Herbert. He did an amazing job. Now, let me move to Kansas City because I think this is very, very important for the people that are watching. Patrick Mahomes became the full-time starter in 2018. He was drafted in 2017. He sat down for 1 year. He played against Denver in the last game. I think they won that game or they lost that game, whatever it was. But that's not important. The important thing about this is since he became the full-time starter in 2018, all the way up until last year, the Kansas City Chiefs went to 7 AFC championship games. That's a lot of football. And when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, one executive I saw online quote said that they look tired. Of course they're going to be tired. They went to 7 straight AFC championships. They went to 5 Super Bowls. That means in 2018, that first year, they lost against Brady. Then after that, they went Super Bowl. Then after that, they went to another Super Bowl. They lost. And then they went to the AFC Championship game again, and they lost to Joe Burrow. He's only lost the AFC Championship game to Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. Other than those 2 times, he's been to the Super Bowl. They went to 3 straight Super Bowls. If there's any year for Kansas City to not to make the playoffs is this year. Now, I was wrong. I had Kansas City winning the division and going to the playoffs again, because I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football. And by the way, I don't give a damn what nobody say online. Josh Allen could be more talented. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes, if you want to be unbiased, is still the best quarterback in football. I don't want to hear, Josh Allen's number. No. It's Patrick Mahomes. The same way Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. Brady, Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is more physically gifted. At the end of the day, when the season started, they say, who you want? They said Tom Brady. I want Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in football. Enough with this nonsense that he's not. He's number 1. He's got the most Super Bowls. A lot of these guys ain't got no rings. They ain't got nothing to show for being the best quarterback. Josh Allen got an MVP. Let's cut this out. No disrespect to the Buffalo Bills. I like Josh Allen a lot. I liked him when he got drafted. But Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in football. I don't care if he tore his ACL. Kansas City, if there's any year for Kansas City to not go to the playoffs, it's this year. Let them regroup. 7 straight. That means that you've played the playoffs for 7 straight years when there are certain teams that got to rest longer than you have. It's like not the same thing as LeBron going to 8 straight finals, but it's somewhere in there. It's like, I'll compare it to the Warriors. The Warriors went to 5 straight NBA finals, and you saw that team break down at the end. This is what this reminds me of. At the end, everybody's breaking down. Travis Kelce, this is last year. He's under contract. This is last year under contract. If I'm Kansas City, I'll give him a 1-day contract. It's time to retire. It's time for this to be Patrick Mahomes' team full throttle. No disrespect to Travis Kelce, but it's over. It's over. This is probably going to be his last season. Or maybe he'll re-sign for 1 more year. I don't know. But if I'm Kansas City, I'm drafting a tight end in this year's draft, and I'm moving on. Now, if he wants to come back and be the 2nd or 3rd tight end, whatever, cool. But I'm drafting me a tight end this year. It's over. Kansas City's not making the playoffs. They're 6-8. It was a good win by the Chargers, but I just want people to know, in Kansas City, you gotta relax. I believe in Patrick Mahomes. I believe that he will be back and that he will win another Super Bowl. I think he'll win 2 or 3 more. He'll be back. But right now, this is a year for them to regroup. This is a year for certain players to get out of there, get some more younger players in there with this team. Get another wide receiver because they're gonna need another wide receiver. Because right now, I don't trust their receiving core no more. But anyway, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will be fine moving forward. This was just a down year. Every team has a down year. The Patriots had a down year one year. I mean, they won a Super Bowl. Then the year after that, they didn't make it to the playoffs. And then they went back-to-back Super Bowls after that in the early 2000s. So if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you don't have to worry about it. It's 1 year. I promise you it's going to be okay. But kudos to the Chargers for winning this football game. Next up, we had the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. Okay, now somebody in my comment section told me in my previous predictions that I'll be wrong and Buffalo's defense will prevail and come through for them. And they were right and I was wrong. Because, man, I didn't trust Buffalo's defense. I still don't trust y'all. But I told you guys I'm unbiased on this channel and I got to give you credit. The Buffalo Bills beat the New England Patriots. Now, this is just sickening for me. 35-31. They came back, and this is what really is just irritating about this. In the first half, New England scored. It was 24-7 at the half. Buffalo then comes in and scores 14 points in the third and fourth quarter to make it 35 points in total. New England didn't score any points in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they scored 7 points. Drake May in this game, we'll get to Josh Allen, I promise. Drake May was 14-23, 155 yards and an interception, which he had 2 rushing touchdowns. But Trayvon Henderson played an amazing game to me. 14 carries for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Drake May had 4 carries for 43 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their entire team, man, this game, I don't know what happened with Drake May. I believe in Drake May. By the way, even though he had 1 bad performance, he's still my MVP. I want to make this very, very clear. I know Buffalo's 10-4. Dan Orlovsky can go on Twitter and lie to y'all all he wants to, or X, whatever y'all call it now. Josh Allen is not the MVP. And that's not me being biased. That's being unbiased. You can't just have bad performances all the time this year or sometime this year and then come back at the end of the season and say, yo, I'm going to be the MVP. No, it don't work that way. He's out of the MVP run. It's the same thing. If Baker Mayfield plays well for the next three weeks, you're going to say, is he back in the MVP conversation? No, you're not. You're not going to do that. So stop doing that with Josh Allen. That gets very, very annoying when people do that. Drake May had a bad performance today. Well, a good performance rushing the ball. But he had an interception. He didn't have any passing touchdowns. But do I think that he knocked himself totally out of MVP conversation? No. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had an interception. He didn't have a passing touchdown. That's fine. He still ran the ball twice. The team was up. Now their defense collapsed. The New England's defense has to be better in situations like this. Josh Allen, again, to me, top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm going to give him his credit. But he's not the MVP right now. You could say it's Matthew Stafford, Drake May, then Josh Allen if you want to put it in that context. But no, it's Josh Allen winning MVP. If they give him MVP like they did last year, which it should have been Lamar Jackson, 41 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. I don't care that he won 1 more game than Lamar. No, I like Josh Allen. I'm not banging on him and saying that he's a terrible quarterback. No, he's a great quarterback. I believed in him before he got drafted to Buffalo. I believed in Josh Allen when the critics were doubting him. I believe in Josh Allen. I think he's an amazing quarterback. He's just not the MVP. He played a great game today. He was 19 of 28, 193 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He was only sacked twice in this game. James Cook, again, was amazing. 22 carries for 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dawson Knox, 3 catches, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns again. He played an amazing game. I have no criticisms of Josh Allen in this football game. Now, in the first half, you can criticize him for saying, hey, man, what's going on? You only scoring 7 points, but it's always New England's defense. And then at the end of the game, you came back and scored 14 points in both quarters. Again, Josh Allen is an amazing quarterback. He's a great quarterback, top 5 in the world. But do I think he's an MVP candidate? No. And that's okay. He can be a great quarterback. He could be having a good season this year. Some games were rocky. That Houston game was very, very rocky. He had a lot of rocky games this year, but he still found a way to bounce back and win this game. I give him his full credit. The only thing I'm saying is that he's not the MVP. That's all I'm saying. He played a great game, an amazing game. You got to give the Buffalo Bills their credit for winning this game. New England's defense collapsed. You only have 100 yards in the second half. Mike Vrabel, I'm disappointed in the way that your defense played in that second half. Now, real quick, next week you guys face Cleveland, and the way that Cleveland's defense is playing, you guys probably going to win that game because it looks like Cleveland's defense just gave up. But all in all, this was an amazing game by Josh Allen. Again, you got to give him credit. You guys won 3 straight since you lost to Houston. You guys beat Pittsburgh 26-7. You beat Cincinnati 39-34 when Joe Burrow cost them that game. Don't get me started. And then you guys beat New England 35-31. The problem is with Buffalo is that your defense gives up a lot of points. And that's why, to that person who commented on my video, that's why I don't trust Buffalo's defense, because y'all give up too many points. Y'all did a great job in the second half. Don't get me wrong. You did a great job in the second half against the New England Patriots, but you still gave up 31. The week before that, you gave up 34. The week before that, even though it was only 7 points, and then before that was 23. Then you gave up 32. Then 21. You know what I mean? So it's just the defense leaves a lot to be desired at some points throughout the entire season. James Cook is a really good running back. He is phenomenal as a running back on this team. Again, I don't trust y'all receiving core, but James Cook, he's just an amazing running back. At the end of the day, again, the Buffalo Bills deserve their credit. They won this game fair and square. They came back in the second half and was amazing. So shout out to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills for winning this football game. Next up, we have the Washington Commanders versus the New York Giants. I picked the Giants to win this game, and I'm thoroughly unimpressed. You had one job, and was to win the game, Jackson Dart. Now, again, I don't root for teams. I just root for my pick for the week. That's it. Jackson Dart in this game was 20 for 36, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. He was only sacked 1 time. They couldn't convert on certain downs. I was looking at it. He just kept missing. Some targets just kept missing. But all in all, Marcus Mariota, 10 for 19, 211 yards and a touchdown. Their running game, 18 carries and 96 yards and a touchdown. What is Jacare Merritt? No disrespect if I said his name wrong. 18 carries, 96 yards and a touchdown. Terry McLaurin had 3 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. For the Giants, Wan'Dale Robinson, 5 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Tyrone Tracy had a touchdown. He had a receiving and a rushing touchdown. Jackson Dart had 2 touchdowns, interception. Now, one thing I want to say about Jackson Dart, man, I saw that he got put in the medical tent again. Jackson Dart is going to end his career before he even gets started. He has got to get down and stop getting hit, man. He is getting hit way too much. I know you want to run the ball. I know you want to have swag and all stuff like that, but I want you to make generational wealth so you're able to take care of your family. This is getting ridiculous. The fact that you have to keep going into the medical tent is not a good sign for a quarterback. How many times has Jackson Dart been in the medical tent this entire year? It's not a good sign. It's not a good thing. Now, again, I'm embarrassed for y'all because you guys lost to Marcus Mariota. You guys should have won this game against the Commanders. It wasn't really nothing to write home about. I mean, you guys are 2-12. The Commanders are 4-10. For some reason, they don't know how to handle Jaden Daniels' injury, so that's why I didn't trust him. That's why I picked the Giants to win this game, just because I thought you guys would be more prepared than Washington, because Washington, for some reason, just can't get it together. Their team has been unhealthy all season. Quarterback has been unhealthy all season. Giants have been an up and down team all season, but they still have a little bit of fight in them, even though you lost this game 29-21. Good job on the Commanders. I'm not going to beat you guys down too much again. Injuries have played a part in your season being the way it is, because I feel like if this Washington team was fully healthy from the get-go, from week 1 until the end of the week, end of the season rather, I feel like you guys could have been in the playoffs. It's not your fault. Your quarterback's banged up. Zach Ertz tore his ACL. I do get it. We'll give them a little bit of a reprieve. But all in all, this was an okay game. Nobody really cared about it because the Giants are 2-12 and the Commanders are 4-10. But we give the Commanders their credit for winning this game 29-21 against the New York Giants. Alright, next up we had the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, in this game, Philly in the first quarter scored 7 points, then 10 points, 7 and 7 and 7. Basically, 7-10, 7-7. 31-0. The Raiders were an absolute embarrassment. Geno Smith, I think he hurt his shoulder. That's why he was out in this game. Kenny Pickett, 15-25, 64 yards. Total passing, which is awful. And Cleveland, y'all wanted him to start over Shador and even Dylan. I'll give Dylan Gabriel some credit. Dylan Gabriel. I mean, my goodness. He was sacked 4 times in this game, had a QBR of 6.2. And I don't count QBR, but I'm just saying that's how bad he played. A 10.6 average yards per throw, which is absolutely terrible. Ashton Genty, man, if I was you, I would be the first person in NFL history to be a rookie to play 1 year on one team and then go to another team or threaten to quit and retire. Because this is ridiculous, even though you don't threaten to quit because you never quit. But I would threaten to trade. I'll get me out of here. You had 9 carries for 35 yards. This team is absolutely a joke. You have Brock Bowers. Again, I always said that you guys got 2 good tight ends and Mayher and Browers. You got a good running back and 1 good offensive lineman, and that's it. Oh, yeah, and Max Crosby on the defense side of the ball, but that's it. That's all y'all got. That's all you guys got. A running back, 2 tight ends, 1 good offensive lineman, and 1 good defensive lineman. Other than that, This team is terrible. You couldn't score not 1 point, not 3 points, no field goals, nothing. You got shut out 31-0. And the way that the Philadelphia Eagles was playing the entire season, the way that they've been playing, looking like they ain't got no chemistry, the way that they've been playing, this is just an embarrassment. Pete Carroll should be embarrassed. He should never came out in retirement for this. He should never came out of retirement for this. This is, not even retirement, just being fired. But if I was him, I would have retired, and I was not coming back for this team. This team is 2-12 and 1-6 on the road. An absolutely awful team. Vegas has been awful. An awful, awful team. Awful. I know I keep saying awful and keep repeating myself, but just an embarrassing performance. 0 points. You couldn't score a field goal? At least the Seattle Seahawks had like 6 field goals. What is... I don't get it. Anyway, shout out to Philadelphia. 31-0. Jalen Hurts was 12 for 15, 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, 22 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Tank Bigsby, I'm glad they're starting to use him more. 17 carries for 57 yards. Dallas Goedert had 6 receptions for 7 yards and 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith had 2 catches for 50 yards. They both had 2 targets in this game, which that's still a problem for me. Now, I'll give Jalen Hurts credit. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions in this game. He was 15. The total team was 15-18. But other than that, I still have a problem with Jalen Hurts and the way that he's playing. The fact that your number 1 and number 2 wide receiver only got 2 targets apiece in this game. I know you guys blew the team out 31-0, but it's the Raiders. I expected you guys to beat them 48 or 50-0. For some reason, this Philly team looks like they have no chemistry at all again. You get Devontae Smith 2 targets. You get A.J. Brown 2 targets. It's the Raiders. I even said in my preview predictions that they should have both had 100 yards apiece. And by the way, if any Philly fans are watching this, I don't want you guys sitting up here saying, well, you got to give them credit. At least they won. No. Yeah, you give them credit for the win, but it's the way that you win. I said that Saquon Barkley should have had 100 yards rushing, and both of the receivers should have had 100 yards receiving. And not just Dallas Goedert, the tight end, because that's his favorite target to throw the ball to. It seems like, I didn't want to say this, but it seems like Jalen Hurts has regressed this year. Or it's the play calling. It's something. But this team, even in a win against the Vegas Raiders, still don't look that amazing. I know it's 31-0, but you don't get credit for beating on a team that is 2-12 and you're the Super Bowl champion. You were home in this game. You're 5-2 and you're 9-5 on the season. You'll probably end the season 11-5 or whatever you want to call it. But other than that, you guys are Super Bowl champions and still just don't seem right to me. This team does not play the way you would expect a Super Bowl champion to play, in my opinion. You guys did not fumble the ball, played an amazing game as a team and as a unit. But man, 2 targets for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The Raiders are absolutely a joke. They need to draft a quarterback. And Philadelphia needs another offensive coordinator. Your offensive coordinator is terrible. Anyway, kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts for winning this game again, 31-0 against the Raiders. But man, I need a little bit more. I need some more targets for the wide receivers. Feed the receivers. But all in all, I'll still give you guys credit, even though you went up against a 2-12 team. I'm not trying to be a smartass, but it's still, I'm not thoroughly impressed by this victory. Do something next week. Who you guys face next week? Let's look at that right now as I'm talking to y'all. You guys face Washington. That's an easy W. Then you guys face Buffalo. That should be a W. And then you guys face Washington again. So right now you're 9-5. So if you beat Washington next week, that's 10-5. You should be able to beat Buffalo, which would be 11-5. You guys should be 12-5 this year, getting into the playoffs. There is no reason why you guys lose any of the rest of the schedule. If you guys lose to Washington, nobody should believe in you. Philadelphia should give up on you if you guys lose to Washington. Anyway, again, I know I'm ranting, but kudos to the Eagles for winning this game, even though it was against a bad team. But I have to be unbiased, and I'll give you your credit anyway. Congratulations to Philadelphia for winning this game, shutting out the Raiders 31-0. Next up, we had the New York Jets versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, okay, if you guys watch my preview and predictions, you guys know that I hold Trevor Lawrence to a very, very high standard. Today, I will give him his full credit. Like I said in the last game with Philadelphia, even though it's a bad team, you still got to give them credit because I'm unbiased. I'm not rooting for a team. I just root for my game picks that I pick every week, and we go from there. Trevor Lawrence was great in this game. 5 touchdowns, 330 yards, 10.3 per average per throw. 5 carries, 51 yards, and he had a rushing touchdown. He had 6 touchdowns in total. I give him his full credit. And on top of the credit that I'll give him, it was nice to see him complete 62.5% completion percentage. And no, I'm not being a smart aleck. I'm just saying. ETN played well. He had 12 carries for 32 yards. I thought he still played well. 3 touchdowns for ETN, 3 receptions, 73 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Brian Thomas had a touchdown, 4 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. A great game by Jacksonville, 48-20 against a abysmal New York Jets team, which we'll get to the New York Jets, but I'm giving Jacksonville their praise. Jacksonville was unbelievable in this game. I was really proud of Trevor Lawrence. I believe in Trevor Lawrence coming out of college. But the problem was he was just so inconsistent. And by the way, even if he won this game and was consistent in this game, he's been still inconsistent all this year. But I will leave him alone this time and give him nothing but praise. A great game by Trevor Lawrence. 20 of 32, over 60% completion percentage. Keep getting that completion percentage to go all the way up. That's all I ask for him to do, is complete the throws that are there and stop missing them. It's the same thing I asked of Caleb Williams. I mean, if you look at Jacksonville scoring 14 points in the first quarter, 17 points in the second quarter, 10 points in the third quarter, and 7 points in the fourth quarter, 48. The New York Jets, let's go to the New York Jets. Brady Cook, I guess they say let Brady cook, but not that time, not Tom Brady cooking. But this was just a regular guy. 22 of 33, 176 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Isaiah Davis, 9 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Breece Hall was not good in this game at all. He had 12 carries for 23 yards. This is just a shame. This is shameful. Garrett Wilson, is he even going to come back? I mean, my God. Adrian Mitchell had a nice touchdown, though. He had 6 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Shout out to Brady Cook for throwing his first NFL touchdown. But all in all, this defense is trash. The New York Jets as an organization is completely trash. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now 10-4 in the season. They're actually 6-2 at home, which is a great feat. The New York Jets are 1-5 on the road. They're 3-11 total. I've been saying for a long time that even if they draft a quarterback next year, the Jets are going to be horrible. You traded away your 2 best defensive players, and Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams. Even the Cowboys didn't win tonight, which we'll get to them later on, but again, you still traded your best players. You went into a fire sale when you didn't need to. Think about if you would have kept your 2 defensive players, plus you had a great draft this year with your head coach. I still don't think he's the right guy for this football team to be head coach. And I have a suspicion, actually, no, a prediction. The New York Jets are going to be bad. Obviously, they're bad this year, but you're going to be bad next year. And then when you're bad next year, maybe even the year after that, you guys are going to draft. Hopefully, you draft well. You're going to draft well, and then guess what you're going to do? You're going to fire your head coach. And then you're going to fire the head coach and then give the job to somebody else. And then when somebody else finally takes the job, then you guys will be good. Because Aaron Glenn ain't no head coach. He's a good defensive coordinator, and that's it. And I tried to give him a chance, but I always said, the way that he treated Aaron Rodgers said, hey, I want to come back and play, and I want to be here, and look what happened. What's the one thing the New York Jets are lacking this year? Consistent quarterback play. And we come to find out that Aaron Rodgers truly wasn't the problem. All he needed to do was the offensive line to stand up and hold him. By the way, I just want to say this too. The New York Jets have a good offensive line. You guys got some really good tackles. I'm surprised you guys didn't trade them because the way you guys are on a fire sale. But anyway, I know you guys are tanking. It's over. It looked like y'all quit. Y'all just looked like y'all quit. Y'all had no fight. The only team that does not quit is for some reason the Saints, which I'll give them their credit. But the only teams that don't quit is the Saints and the Cardinals. For some reason, for those 2 teams to be 3-10 coming into this week's games and they still fight every single week, now that's fighting. This Jets team, on the other hand, they don't fight at all. They are horrible, horrible owner. It starts with the owner because he's horrible. The GM, I don't know what to think about him. Still give him a chance. But then your coach is horrible. Your coach is horrible. But I'm spending too much time on this game. Kudos to Jacksonville for winning this game 48-20. It was a nice blowout. And this is what the New York Jets get, even though I am unbiased. This is what y'all get for being a horrible organization. The same thing with Cleveland. They're just a terrible organization. But anyway, congratulations for Jacksonville for being 10-4. You're the number 1 in your division and should be getting the home and field advantage in the first week of the playoffs. So kudos to Jacksonville for turning your season around again. All praises for Trevor Lawrence in this game. He was absolutely fantastic, and that's what I've been asking for. Complete percentage, make the throws, and just be great, and be the first-round pick that we actually lived up to be. And he did it today. So congratulations to Jacksonville. An amazing game by Trevor Lawrence. Next up, we had the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. Houston Texans win this game 40-20. I picked the Texans to win this game. 17 points in the first quarter, 6 points in the second quarter, in the third quarter, 7 points, then you had 10 points. Again, before we get to the Texans and their monster victory and a nice blowout, let me just say this again. I say this every single week about the Cardinals. Way to fight. A hell of a way to fight. Jacoby Brissett was 27 of 40, 249 yards on 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Michael Carter, 14 carries for 56 yards. Trey McBride had 12 receptions for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael Wilson, who's actually a very good receiver, 5 catches, 54 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Brissett played really, really well. He had an interception. I do get it. I know they had a fumble by Jalen Brooks, but other than that, it was still a good effort for the Cardinals. Again, they're 3-11 and 2-5 on the road for the season. But listen, I always say they fight, man. And I'm not gonna start no drama, but it looks like they just fight more with Jacoby Brissett than they do with Kyler Murray. It's no disrespect, but it just seems like they play better without Kyler Murray, which is crazy in and out of itself. But again, the Cardinals always fight, man. I always give them their respect. They don't look like they're ready to go to Cancun. They actually fight. If you're a Cardinals fan, you should be mad and upset about how the team is playing overall for the season because you're tired of losing and tired of being a losing franchise. I get it. But if you want to talk about a team that is resilient and they continuously fight every single week, you got to give the Cardinals their credit. I give them the credit every single week. I know it probably gets tiring hearing it, but they do fight. They fight every single week, and you got to give them the respect. But respect to the Cardinals, even though you got blown out, and you got blown out. But respect to them for continuously fighting with Jacoby Brissett. Anyway, C.J. Stroud was 22 of 29, 260 yards. Average per attempt was 9 yards per attempt. That was great, phenomenal. He was only sacked 1 time, 3 touchdowns. Jawar Jordan, if that's how you say his name correctly, 15 carries for 101 yards rushing. Nico Collins, again, amazing, carrying this team in the receiving room. 3 receptions for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, 8 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. A great and phenomenal game by this Houston Texans defense. Even though Jacoby Brissett was only sacked 2 times, they still did a great job and holding them to 20 points. Because, man, I mean, just the way Houston's defense is playing, they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. The only major concern that I've had about Houston all year is this offensive line. Because, I mean, you traded Larry Tunsil to the Commanders even though he was getting older. And I did see a report earlier when he did get traded that they're trying to get behind the fact that they want to rebuild this offensive line now while C.J. Stroud is still on the rookie contract, which is, I understand it. But, man, he got a bad offensive line. But they played well today. Only was sacked 1 time. You got to give C.J. Stroud great credit. He had a bad concussion, was damn near out for a month, and he comes back and he's balling. The team is 9-5. They're second in the division. The Colts are falling down, but that's due to injuries and different things like that. But, man, C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans, again, phenomenal game by C.J. Stroud. And by the way, Jacoby Brissett, 67% completion percentage. I mean, still just a decent game by him. But C.J. Stroud, 75.9% completion percentage. Amazing. This was amazing by C.J. Stroud in this game. I know it was the Cardinals. You could say it's the Cardinals. They're 3-11, but you still got to go out there and perform, and he did a really good job. C.J. Stroud, congratulations to the Texans. You're now 9-5, second in the division, only to Jacksonville, so we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, phenomenal win by the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud. Next up, we had the Green Bay Packers at the Denver Broncos. Now, I'm not going to lie, I picked the Green Bay Packers to win this game. If you guys saw my preview predictions, the Denver Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers 34-26. Bo Nix, wow, 23 of 34 for 302 yards and 4 touchdowns. R.J. Harvey, 19 carries and 65 yards and a touchdown. Courtland Sutton was amazing in this game. I mean, these guys were getting down in this game. Courtland Sutton had 10 targets. He had 7 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown. Troy Franklin, 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. Little Jordan Humphrey, who's been in the league for a long time, had 3 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown. Michael Bandy had 1 catch for 20 yards and a touchdown. This was an amazing game by Bo Nix. And I said in my preview predictions, I don't trust him in 1, 2, and 3, which is the first, second, and third quarter. But I don't trust him for those 3 quarters, but I do trust him in the fourth quarter. But he proved me wrong today. I was wrong. Gotta eat crow. Was amazing in this game. In the first half, he was amazing. He had like 1 incompletion in the first half. That was amazing. This team played well. 11 straight victories for this team. Man, you gotta feel sorry for the Green Bay Packers. Micah Parsons, it's feared that he tore his ACL, which is very, very disheartening for this team after this monster trade. But don't worry, the Dallas Cowboys still ain't performing well, so at least we get him back next year for Green Bay. But Jordan Love, man. Denver Broncos, kudos to y'all for winning this game. The reason why I'm bringing up Jordan Love, man, if you're a Green Bay Packers fan, You appreciate Jordan Love for the games that he plays well. And by the way, Bo Nix was not sacked at all. I'm looking at his numbers right now. He was not sacked at all. Just an amazing game by Denver. I'm giving him full credit. I'm not taking nothing away from Bo Nix. He played well against a really, really good defense. He dominated this whole game. But let me go to Jordan Love. Jordan Love in this game was 24 of 40 for 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, was sacked 3 times. He took 2 bad sacks that was terrible. And Josh Jacobs was actually playing well. He had 12 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown. But my problem with Jordan Love, and as a Green Bay Packers fan, you guys should be upset and angry. This is why you should be angry. When Jordan Love throws off his back foot, he makes me angry. Because every time he throws off his back foot, sometimes it works, but most of the time it don't. Go look at it. When he throws off his back foot, when there's pressure in his face and he does that, he's getting picked off every single time. No matter what it is. He could be standing in the pocket. He throws off the back foot. There's pressure coming onto Jordan Love. And he throws the ball and it's short and he gets picked off. As a person who loves football and watches football, I'm begging Jordan Love, stop throwing off your back foot when you got pressure on your face, man. This is ridiculous. You were the reason why this team lost this football game with these 2 interceptions. Denver has a great defense. I'll give them their credit. 3 sacks. They got you. Michael Parsons and the rest of this team that was hurt all game. I understand the Packers are hurt. But man, Jordan Love, you cost this team this game. 2 interceptions was terrible. Throwing off that back foot, come on, man. Like it's a very, very an annoying thing when you see quarterbacks do stuff like that because your mechanics screams you do great things when you play well, but when you don't play well, man, that throwing off the back foot angers me. It's the same thing with Caleb Williams escapes the pocket and he's outside of the pocket and he throws the ball so hard. And when he throws the ball hard, it never gets in the receiver hand. If you guys know what I'm talking about with Caleb Williams, he throws the ball, but he leans forward and he throws the ball way too hard. It's like you're off balance. Sometimes Jordan Love is off balance. And this is what they took advantage of in this game. Got him 3 times with the sacks and picked him off twice. Anytime Jordan Love is wheeling and dealing, he's fine. Anytime he throws interceptions, he gets rattled. And it was 1 sack that he took that made me angry. Not angry to the point where you're going to flip out, but just angry as somebody who loves watching a game of football. Give me some emotion. I know you're trying to stay in character and you're not going to show the team up, but you're not supposed to do that. But as a quarterback, man, you take that sack and you just walking with your head looking up, man, be angry. Clap your hands, something. The same thing with Jalen Hurts. It's football. You can show your emotion one time because you're upset that you got sacked and then you took the sack and it was your fault. You could slap your hand, slap your helmet, damn, or it's just something, man. This nonchalant attitude that some of you players have in this league is bothersome. Do you care about the game? I'm not questioning their heart or nothing like that. I would never do that. But just the attitude, the nonchalant, man, I don't, like, it's like I'm going to just throw it away and just go to the next play. Like, no, show me some emotion. Do it one time. You don't got to show your team up and blame it on them. Blame it on yourself. But the nonchalant attitude, just looking up, like, no, you were the reason why you got sacked. You're the reason why you're throwing interceptions. It's okay to be a little frustrated and angry, but man, I don't know what to think about this Packers team. Next week, you guys got Chicago, and Chicago's coming off a great win against the Cleveland Browns in that defense. But man, what an amazing game by the Denver Broncos again. Full credit to them. Bo Nix was great. If you look at Bo Nix, he should get at least 1 MVP vote. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. If he gets MVP vote, I wouldn't be surprised. That's how good this game solidified Bo Nix that if he doesn't make mistakes in the first, second, and third quarter, they could potentially win a Super Bowl with this team. I mean, they're 12-2. This is insane. I had them 3rd in the division, by the way. I had the Raiders 4th. I had them 3rd. Had the Chargers 2nd. And I had the Chiefs 1st. I'll go back over that at the end of the year. But this was an amazing game by Denver. Jordan Love, man, stop throwing off your back foot. And to Denver, an amazing win nonetheless. Amazing game. This was an amazing game by the Denver Broncos. I'm shocked at how great they played. I picked the Pack, but I am shocked how great they played. Especially Bo Nix. I ain't trust him in the first 3 quarters, but kudos to the Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. 12-2 on the season, 7-0. And by the way, just real quickly, next week you guys face Jacksonville. That's going to be a great game. It's at 4:05 on Fox. That's an amazing game. Then you guys got Kansas City afterwards, which I think you guys could beat Kansas City. You guys already lost the Chargers earlier this year. Maybe you'll split, win the division, but we'll see. But you guys got Jacksonville next week, which is we'll see what you guys do against them. But that's going to be an amazing game too. But credit to the Denver Broncos for winning this football game. Amazing game by Bo Nix. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions at the Los Angeles Rams. Got to give the Rams their credit. I picked the Lions to win this game, even though they scored 34 points against this Rams defense. I told you this defense could be had just a little bit, but the Rams offense prevailed. Scored 7 points in the first quarter, then 10 points, then 17 points, and 7 points in the fourth quarter. The Detroit Lions scored 7 points in the first quarter, 17 points in the second quarter, no points in the third quarter, which was shocking, and then 10 points in the fourth quarter for the total score to be 41-34. Jared Goff in this game was 25 of 41, 3 touchdowns, 338 yards. Not bad. He was only sacked one time. Jamar Gibbs, 13 carries, 38 yards. Was not good at all. David Montgomery has 7 carries for 32 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, just an amazing wide receiver. He's top 5, man. 13 catches for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was amazing. He had 18 targets. This is an amazing game by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams, 7 catches, 134 yards. I'm really impressed with Jamison Williams finally stepping up and being a receiver that everybody knew he's going to be coming out of college. Now, give Matthew Stafford his credit. 24 of 38, 368 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. Now, he was sacked twice in this game. Kerryon Williams, again, a nice running back. They have a nice running back duo with the Rams. Kerryon Williams and Blake Corum, 15 carries for Williams, 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum had 11 carries for 71 yards and a touchdown. Puka Nacua, one of the best receivers in the league, man. Top 5 again. 9 catches, 181 yards on 11 targets. Colby Parkinson, or Packinson, if that's how you say his name. Forgive me if I said it wrong. 5 catches for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. I know that Devontae Adams had 9 targets. He had 4 catches, 71 yards. He did get hurt. Hopefully he will be okay. I know that the Rams this upcoming week is facing the Seattle Seahawks at 8:15 on Thursday Night Football, which is going to be this week. So we hope it's not a bad injury, although it's looking unlikely that he's going to play. But in this game, I'm going to give kudos to the Rams. They just outplayed Detroit throughout this entire game. Scored more points than them in the second half. Was an amazing second half. Matthew Stafford had a bad interception to start the game, but he bounced. After that interception, he bounced back. Right now, he is leading MVP. Now, here's the thing. As an unbiased person, now if I'm biased, I'm going to say, well, just give him the MVP. But as an unbiased person who's going to talk about football, it's no disrespect. I don't want to see a 37-year-old win MVP. You know, it's not a bad thing for him to win MVP. It's just 37 years old winning an MVP. I don't know how that's going to look. But anyway, I give the Los Angeles Rams their credit. This was a phenomenal game. Again, I said that this game right here and the Denver Broncos game against the Packers are going to be, these are 2 games a week right here. And this was great. Detroit was leading early, especially after that first half. But in the second half, again, the Rams bounced back and they never looked back. I'm really shocked Detroit only scored 0. They scored 0 points in the third quarter. That was a really shocking test. It's going to be hard for them to get to the playoffs now because they're 8-6. This is just an epic collapse of proportions. I mean, my goodness, if you would have told me that earlier in the season, before the season started, that Detroit would be 8-6 and 3-4 on the road, I would have told you that you were lying. If you said the Rams would be 11-3 and 6-1 at home, I would have said you were telling the truth. Because I believe in the Rams. I had them going first in the division, had the 49ers second, had the Cardinals third, which is a grave mistake, but they do fight. And I had the Seahawks fourth because I didn't trust Sam Darnold, which we'll get to him in a minute. But the Rams did a phenomenal job against the Detroit Lions at the end, especially in the second half. In the first half, the defense was giving up. I mean, they gave up 24 points in the first half. And then the Rams only scored 17 points. I thought it was like, hey, man, it's over. Detroit got this in the bag, but Matthew Stafford said, nope, not on my watch. And they won. So kudos to the Los Angeles Rams. You guys are now 11-3, basically clinched the playoff berth, which is phenomenal. This team has been phenomenal all year. You got 3 losses. I know that Carolina Panthers game was a really bad loss, but all in all, this was a great win for the Rams going up against the Detroit Lions offense. I thought they really had you in the first half, but kudos to Matthew Stafford. I got to give him his respect and give him his props for winning this game. An amazing game by Puka Nacua as well. 11 targets, 9 catches. I mean, he's just amazing. But the Rams win this game 41-34. Detroit, better luck next time. Shout out to the Rams for winning this football game. Next up, we had the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Man, I'm so disappointed in the Carolina Panthers. They were my game pick, and of course, they lost. The Saints win this game 20-17. Tyler Shuck, I gotta give him his credit. He was 24-32, 272 yards and 1 touchdown. Devin Neal had 7 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Shuck had 8 carries for 32 yards. He got hit at the end of the game. He got helmet to helmet, which basically sealed the deal for the Panthers. One of their players, I mean, just an awful tackle that you would hit the guy in the head, the quarterback, when he's sliding down. You know the NFL is going to call that because they love protecting their quarterbacks. Chris Olave had 6 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. Bryce Young, 15-24, 163 yards and a touchdown. He was only sacked 1 time. Tyler Shuck was sacked 5 times, and the Saints still won this game. Now listen, I have come out and said that I still think Spencer Rattler is the better quarterback. No disrespect to Tyler Shuck again, but when I look at my eye test, I still believe in Spencer Rattler. Again, kudos to Tyler Shuck for winning this game. I'll give him all his credit. Today he was phenomenal, and they won. I didn't expect him to win. I expected him to continuously keep tanking and continuously being a bad team with bad ownership, but nonetheless, you guys won. I know that's a slight, but gotta throw a slight in there just because you guys are not rebuilding the right way. But anyway, you guys are 4-10 in this 4-10 on the season. Carolina Panthers are now 7-7, 3-5 on the road. You guys are 2-5 at home. Again, the Carolina Panthers, they did something stupid, and they should be on the coaching staff. You guys went for it on 4th down instead of punting the football away, and then for the life of me, I cannot understand. You guys, the Saints had their entire team on the line. Their D-line, their linebackers were so close together, so tight-knit together on the line, and you guys run the ball. Why would you run the ball if you're the Carolina Panthers in that situation instead of throwing for a pass? And Rico Dowdle tried to do what? Tried to jump up and do a leap, and they stopped him, and that basically sealed the game right there. This was awful coaching by the Carolina Panthers. 7 points in the first quarter, 3 points in the second quarter, and 7 points in the third quarter. You didn't score nothing in the fourth quarter. I don't blame Bryce Young not one bit. I blame the head coach. Dave Canes, or however you pronounce his name, is no disrespect in the way that I'm pronouncing it, but this was awful coaching in this game. If I'm Bryce Young, I don't even want to be here no more. This is ridiculous. It should be so ashamed of the coaching that they had in this game. You went for it on 4th and 1 when you could have punted the ball away. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous play calling. But give Kellen Moore his credit for this game. Give Chris Olave, man, his credit for that. His credit because the way, even though he has these different quarterbacks, he's still showing up as a wide receiver and really proving his case to get a nice payday from the New Orleans Saints. But other than that, Tyler Shuck, again, he was amazing in this game. He was great. You got to give New Orleans their credit. Shout out to New Orleans for beating the Carolina Panthers 20-17. Next up, we had the Tennessee Titans versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers, 37-24. They beat the Titans. The Titans are now 2-12 on the season. The 49ers are now 10-4. They're 4-2 at home. This is a great win for the 49ers, even though it's going against the Tennessee Titans. I usually take a slight when the teams are just bad, but man, for all you Brock Purdy haters out there, because I think he's a good quarterback. Everybody kept saying, oh my goodness, he has the Avengers. It's the Avengers. And he has Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle. Oh, he got Deebo Samuel. Man, he got Brandon Ayuk. Man, he got a great team. He got Trent Williams on the offensive line. Man, the offensive line is just so great. And look what his team is, 10-4. No Nick Bosa. Where's Fred Warner and Nick Bosa? Where's Ufunga? Ufunga's in Denver. This was an amazing game by Brock Purdy. I know it's against the bad Tennessee Titans defense, but you got to give them credit. 23 of 30, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns against his team. Christian McCaffrey, 22 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. George Kittle, just a beast, 8 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Juwan Jennings had 2 touchdowns, 3 catches, 37 yards. Ricky Pearsall has some amazing catches in this game. 6 catches for 96 yards. Again, amazing win by San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they scored in every single quarter, 7 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, in the third quarter, 14 points, and they scored 6 points, 37 points in total. Now, the Tennessee Titans, I'll give Cam Ward his credit. 18 of 29, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns, even though he averaged 5.9 yards a throw, which is not great. He wasn't sacked at all. Brock Purdy's actually sacked twice. And I also want to give credit, too, to Tony Pollard. 14 carries for 104 yards again in the touchdown. He played phenomenal today, even though you guys lost. And by the way, I just want to say, Jeffrey Simmons had 1 catch for 1 yard in the touchdown. That was actually a nice touchdown from Cam Ward to his defensive lineman. That was great from Cam Ward. But other than that, Cam Ward has been improving. He didn't get sacked in this game, which is very, very good. It was a good thing for him because he's just getting popped every single game. But the 49ers and Brock Purdy, by the way, had this team finishing second in the division. An amazing win by the San Francisco 49ers. All you guys who keep saying that Brock Purdy had the Avengers and he had an amazing defense, the team's defense is hurt, desolate. They've won 4 straight games, and then they face the Colts next week. They should win that game. They're going up against Phillip Rivers. They should win that game. They got Chicago, which is going to be tough in Seattle. So for the rest of the season, if we're going to jump ahead a little bit, the San Francisco 49ers should win next week, which would be 11-4. Then if they lose the next 2 games, they'll be 11-6 and still have a shot to go to the playoffs. An amazing win by 49ers. Kyle Shanahan really is one of the best coaches in football. Next up, we had the Indianapolis Colts at the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, before I get to the Colts, because obviously the Seahawks won this game 18-16, and I have a huge problem with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was sacked one time in this game. Guess who also was sacked one time? Phillip Rivers was only sacked one time. Sam Darnold was 22 of 36 for 271 passing yards with no touchdowns and no interceptions. And he did fumble, but he didn't lose it. He recovered it back. I just want to click on the Seahawks and look at Sam Darnold again, 22 for 36. He has a 61% completion percentage. Now, this is where completion percentage gets me in trouble because there's no way. There's no way you complete 61% of your passes and this team played awful. Jackson Smith-Njigba had 7 catches, 113 yards, had no touchdowns, but he played an amazing game. Jackson Smith-Njigba is probably going to be the offensive player of the year just by the way he's playing, just a dog on the field. Phillip Rivers had a better completion percentage than Sam Darnold. He was 18 of 27, 120 yards to be exact, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He only sacked 1 time. Jonathan Taylor, 25 attempts for 87 yards, and Downs had a touchdown from Phillip Rivers. Now, I must give Phillip Rivers his credit. He came back, he was only sacked 1 time, and he's played well. Now, his arm looks shot, though. I'm not going to lie. It looks like he can't throw deep down the field. He had an interception to end the game, but I'm still impressed that he got up off the couch, and I say off the couch meaning he hasn't played in 5 years, and I said I would blitz him. I think I said that about J.J. McCarthy, too, but if I was the Seahawks, I would have blitzed him, too, but the Colts offense did an amazing job. Their offensive line did amazing today. A really good job in protecting Phillip Rivers. Now, you feel bad for the Colts because of their injuries, and I get it. But I have to give Phillip Rivers his credit again. He played well, in my opinion. His arm looked shot, but he played well. Their defense, by the way, shout out to the Colts defense. They did play really well in this game for me. My problem with Seattle is I don't trust y'all. Because there is no way you go up against the Colts in this defense. Did you guys know what the Jacksonville did to them last week? 36-19, and Seattle can only score 18 points. Their defense did a great job. And if I'm Seattle, if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm worried. Sam Darnold, man, come on, man. Like, they paid you that money, 3 years over $100 million, and for some reason, you're not showing up. Now, you guys did win. I mean, you guys are. Let me stop saying it as if you've been bad this whole year, because you haven't been. But you're 11-3, but right now, they're winning in spite of you. 6 field goals, man? 6 field goals in this game. Just an amazing game by your kicker again. But you couldn't score not 1 touchdown against this Colts team. Again, the Colts defense showed up. But man, if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm disappointed. Like, okay, we're 11-3, but the signs that you're showing is not good and inducive for the playoffs. Again, the playoffs are around the corner. 3 games left in the season. If you go to the playoffs like this, you might as well just pack it up. If this Seahawks team is going to play like this, the defense did an amazing job, but the offense, what's going on with Sam Darnold? I just don't understand it. I don't trust Sam Darnold. This is why I picked the Colts to not win this game, but man, I thought they was going to get dominated in this game by your defense. And only Phillip Rivers, kudos to him for coming out of retirement and playing well, but I don't trust Seattle. Seattle had a good win. Good defensive effort, but I don't trust their team because Sam Darnold, man, his play is so shaky. This should have been a blowout. I don't trust Sam Darnold, but kudos to the Seattle Seahawks for winning this game. I just don't trust your quarterback anymore. It should have been a blowout. Next up, we had the Minnesota Vikings versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Vikings win 34-26. I picked the Cowboys to win this game, which we'll get to that in a moment. Dallas Cowboys scored 7 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, 6 points in the third quarter, and then 3 points in the fourth quarter. The Vikings played an amazing game, had 7 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, 7 points in the third quarter, and 10 points in the fourth quarter to make the score 34-26. Again, J.J. McCarthy was 15-24 passing, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. A funny-looking interception nonetheless. But Aaron Jones had 12 carries for 34 yards, was basically 2.8 average, not really that great. But Jordan Addison, 2 catches for 66 yards. Jalen Naylor, 3 receptions for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. Again, Justin Jefferson had 8 targets and 2 catches for 22 yards. If I'm Justin Jefferson, again, I'm very, very frustrated and angry. I know you guys won the game. I'll give J.J. McCarthy his credit. You guys didn't fumble, and he was only sacked. Dak Prescott was sacked twice. J.J. McCarthy wasn't sacked at all, which was amazing that he wasn't sacked at all the way he's been playing these past couple of weeks, even being hurt. And he also had a rushing touchdown, so good for him. This was an amazing game for the Vikings because I thought you guys were going to lose. I thought the Dallas Cowboys were going to win. Now the Dallas Cowboys are 6-7 on the season. Minnesota Vikings are 6-8. They're still eliminated from the playoffs, but nonetheless, this is a great win. Now, Dak Prescott, great win by the Vikings, but Dak Prescott, come on, man. 23 of 38, 294 yards, 7.7 average per attempt, which is decent. You were sacked twice. Javonte Williams had 15 carries for 91 yards. That's 6 yards per attempt and a touchdown. Malik Davis had 8 carries for 21 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had 10 targets. He was cooking again. 10 targets, 6 catches, 111 yards. George Pickens had six targets for 3. He had 3 receptions and 33 yards. He didn't show up in this game, man. Come on, you got to get him more targets than that. This was ridiculous. I don't know what happened with Dallas. This was just an awful game. Their defense didn't show up. No sacks. No sacks for Quentin Williams. I mean, I know he had a nice, he had a pick, but man, he had a nice interception, but that was it. What happened to this Dallas defense that was improving every single week? Kenny Clark, nobody did nothing on this team. They had a tackle for a loss. Okay, that was fine. But man, the Dallas Cowboys, y'all underperformed. But once again, every single time when the lights get the brightest, you guys underperform. Dak Prescott with no touchdowns. You get CeeDee Lamb back after 1 week after he suffered that bad concussion. And he comes back and he's cooking in this game and you can't get Pickens involved. Now, kudos to the Minnesota Vikings defense for showing up and playing it the way that they played. But man, 34-26, you couldn't score more than that against this Vikings team. My goodness, I don't know what to do with Dallas. Their season is over to me. 6-7-1. They're done. I don't trust Dallas anymore. I never really trusted them anyway. I had them finish third in the division. The only reason why the Dallas Cowboys are finishing second in this division is because the Washington Commanders got hurt. If they were a fully healthy team, they would have finished second in this division. Dallas would have been third. But because they are a bad injured team, Dallas Cowboys are going to finish second. And let's look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule coming up for the rest of the season. The Dallas Cowboys next week are facing the Chargers. They should lose that game. Then they're facing Washington, which they should win that game. And then they're facing the New York Giants, which they should win. So technically, if you look at this team, they're probably going to go 8-1. Yep, they're probably going to beat Washington and New York, which is 2 games, which is 6, so that's 7-8, and then you're going to lose to the Chargers. You're going to go 8-1 and not make the playoffs again, and then somehow we're going to blame the defense, which we knew you were going to be bad all season long. We knew you were going to be bad because you traded Micah Parsons, but now I'm not going to blame Dak Prescott now. See, now it's not on Dak Prescott, even though this game is, but overall this season was not on Dak Prescott. The season basically on Jerry Jones for the way that he went about trading Micah Parsons, which I still don't get that trade, even though praise up for Micah Parsons, but still. Dallas Cowboys are horrible in this game. Kudos to JJ McCarthy, because you guys saw in my previous predictions, I ripped him. I ripped him a new one. Again, if I'm Justin Jefferson, I won out, but you got to give him credit. I always say I'm unbiased, and since I'm unbiased, I'm going to give JJ McCarthy his credit. Other than that, Dallas Cowboys are terrible in this game. They scored 26 points, but it just wasn't enough. And for a team like the Vikings, who are not good, man, the Dallas Cowboys continue to prove why people have a problem with how the way this organization is ran. Just every time there's an expectation to do something right, it always goes wrong. I guess Stephen A. Smith is right. What can go wrong will go wrong. Dallas Cowboys probably not going to make the playoffs. Going to go 8-1 probably to finish up the season. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Kudos to the Vikings for winning this football game. They're not going to make the playoffs, but this is just a nice game for them to win. Respect to the Vikings for winning this football game. Alright guys, let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about your teams. Let me know your game picks. What was your record? I had a horrible record this week. I'll put it in the description box down below what my game picks were for every single week. Yes, I've been keeping track of them even though I've only been on here for less than a month. I've been keeping track of all of my game picks. I had a winning week. For the first 13 weeks, I've won every single week. But these last 2 weeks, I had a negative record, which was absolutely just devastating. I do it for fun. I pick the games for fun. I don't bet or anything like that. But I was winning every single week. But this week and last week has just been horrible for me. So let me know in the comment section down below what your picks were, how you feel about your team. Let me know. I'll read them and I'll respond back to you. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more great content coming up. Until next time, guys, see you real soon.